Revasa is the best, you were right.
I could help, you know. Nothing stirs the heart like a well-written word.
You're suggesting I woo the lady with someone else's words? You really want me on that path again?
Oh, yeah, that idea. Let's just forget I said anything.
That's some good armor.
Are you referring to me?
Some high-ranking women wear ornamental crap with tits hammered into it. One good shot, and all that cleavage gets knocked right into the sternum. Real messy. Good on you for going practical.
I aim to please.
Leave something to the imagination, too. That was some solid work back there, Seeker.
You as well.
The way you backhanded that guy with your shield and then damn near chopped him in half. You and the boss should use that between the sheets.
How do you know we haven't already?
Ha! Any chance I could have the boss borrow your armor later? For, personal reasons?
No.
I'd clean it after.
Absolutely not.
Ugh. Hey, are you as turned on as I am right now?
Am I what?
That's probably impossible anyway. You know, Seeker, your style doesn't have to be so defensive.
Excuse me?
You've got armor. Let them scratch the paint a bit. You can wind up for a shot that'll really ring their bell. Some part of you wants to just cut loose. I can feel the frustration in your swings.
How odd, since I'm feeling so much less frustrated as of late.
Ha! I'd offer to help you get rid of that frustration, but you know, I'm in a committed relationship.
Unlucky me.
You need any help with that frustration back at camp, let me know.
It's never going to happen.
Apologies for giving offense. I will stop making invitations, Seeker.
I was not offended, nor did I say you should stop. So long as we're both clear, it's never happening.
Works for me.
You'd feel far more if I actually hit you.
That's right. Let it out.
I enjoy fighting at your side, Bull.
Same here, Seeker.
But I will also enjoy returning to the base and sinking slowly into a steaming hot bath sprinkled with rose petals.
Oh, now you're just being mean. I mean roses. Who has sex smelling like roses? Violets, or a nice frangipani, maybe. Put some horns on you, you'd make a pretty good Kunari.
I am not certain that's a compliment.
You know, the Ben Hasrith are a lot like your Seekers, Cassandra.
I highly doubt that.
Maintaining justice in the ranks, operating under a veil of secrecy, investigating corruption and threats to the order, and we deal with it all so quietly. Most people never notice.
Interesting. Though we do not break the minds of our prisoners.
Well, keep at it. You guys will get there. Sorry about your Seekers. It's tough when the ones who watch over us abuse that authority.
Yes, it is.
Always happens, though. Nobody can handle secrets all day long without it getting to them.
How do the Ben Hasrith deal with such problems?
If the problem's small, they turn a blind eye. Like I said, it happens.
And if it is too large to ignore?
How do you think I ended up here? So, Seeker, seems you have a thing for Canary men after all.
Certain ones.
There you go again, Seeker. Getting an eye full of Inquisibutt.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nice try. You're on him hard.
Thank you, Sarah.
He's not just an object to quench your desires, Cass. Make sure you undress him with your eyes respectfully.
I'm sorry, what are you two talking about?
Your naked body. Well, I'm talking about it. Cassandra's just glaring and turning red.
Respectfully? That's crazy talk.
Well then, go wild, you two.
Knock it off, Bull.
Fine, fine. But she started it, all doe-eyed and crap. See, now he's ignoring us. You've offended him.
Ugh. So, Bull, about Dorian.
Yes, it's true.
By all means, let's all discuss this together.
If you're both pleased.
I'm happy, he's happy, everyone's happy.
Aw, you're happy. Jealous, Seeker?
Jealous? Of Dorian?
Who wouldn't be? Look at these horns.
I see them.
Yes, I know, right? Feel the envy.
You are aware his room has a lock, Bull.
Sure.
Some people might find that useful in future.
I'd rather focus on...
Yes, I'm sure the room and its contents are very distracting, thank you. Bull, what happened to the charges? You have my sympathy.
They got the job done. You know what it means to put the mission first.
Yes, and I know what it costs those who live to see it through. The Inquisition will honor their memory.
I appreciate it. The boys would too.
I'm glad your men will continue to fight at our side, Bull.
And all we lost was our alliance with the Canary.
I would not trade the charges for any alliance.
Thanks, Seeker. The boys will be glad to hear it.
You are considered Talvashoth now, Bull.
Looks that way.
I admit I don't fully understand what that means, but I am sorry.
The Seekers gave you rules to live by, right? The Canary have the same. And now I don't.
I see.
It's all right. I've got my charges, and I've got the Inquisition. I'm good. So, you ever letting Blackwall off the hook, Seeker?
He is a coward who abandoned his men, a man who wishes to atone but lies to do so.
All right. So that's a no.
I chose to take him back. End of story.
I cannot help but feel as I do.
Sure you could. You won't, but you could.
She's not going to change her mind, Bull.
Not due to pestering, that's certain.
Blackwall isn't even here to defend himself.
Not that he would.
He cannot. Let us leave it at that.
Cullen's got some of those trebuchets from the siege back at Skyhold. Hey, Seeker, think he'd mind if I borrow one? Just for an hour or two.
Why do you need a trebuchet?
Kremso's a bit. He made these stuffed nugs with wings. I want to see how far they can fly.
I don't think that's an appropriate use of Inquisition resources.
See, this is why you're not in charge of morale.
I am surprised you accept fighting at a woman's side, Bull. I understood Kunari women did not fight.
If a Kunari woman really wants to fight and has a gift for it, she becomes an Akunath-Lak. The Akunath-Lak joins the warriors and is treated like a male. He becomes a guy, for all intents and purposes.
But she wouldn't physically become male, surely.
Doesn't matter. In the Qun, your role is everything.
And do you think of me as male, then?
Depends. In or out of your armor. You know, Seeker, I really like hitting things.
So I'd gathered.
I knew you'd understand. Hey, Seeker, if I hit a guy high while you go low, you think we could get him to flip?
Flip?
Yes. Ass over tea kettle, you know.
I'd expect an ale cask before a tea kettle, frankly.
Not over my tea kettle.
Now there's a turnip phrase.
Ass kettle.
Yeah.
I suppose that could be done.
I've always wanted to get a guy to flip. Your family's full of dragon hunters, Seeker?
It's something of a legacy.
So, when you face a dragon, does it get your heart pumping? Do you breathe a little faster, feel the blood racing?
What's the alternative? Relax and let it kill us?
No, seriously.
I feel no great calling in my blood. Sorry to disappoint.
Damn. So I hear you saved the last divine from a dragon assault.
Yes, in my youth, with help.
Nice.
You're not going to press for the details.
Nah, I can see you don't want to talk about it. Bet you look good doing it, though.
That move you performed in our last fight was well executed, Bull. I'm impressed.
Thank you, Seeker. I'd be happy to teach you.
If you had done that in our last sparring match, you might have won.
Then it's time for a rematch.
Iron Bull. I understand that among your people you are... What is the term?
Ben Hasrath. Secret police. Spies, basically.
You spied upon your own people.
Is that so different from Orlais or Ferelden? They have all kinds of people policing them.
What they say and do, yes. Not what they think.
What you think is what you say and do.
No. Even the lowliest peasant may find freedom in the safety of her thoughts. You take even that. Surely even you see, Iron Bull, that freedom is preferable to mindless obedience to the Qun.
How so? Last I checked, our mages weren't burning down Parvalin.
You think Orlais and Ferelden would be better off under Kunari rule?
Not really my call. I think most people everywhere have a system that works for them. When that breaks, you fix it, like we're doing now.
Do not equivocate. Would we or would we not be better under the Qun?
It's not that simple, Solus.
It absolutely is.
All right, Solus, been thinking. You want to know how this place would be if the Qunari took charge? Orlais, Ferelden, all of it would be healthier under the Qun. But the war to make that happen, that would be ugly. A lot of good people would die. So I'm not hoping it happens. There. You happy?
Happy? No, quite the opposite.
Oh, come on. I said I didn't want us to invade you.
No. You said this world would be brighter if all thinking creatures were stripped of individuality. You only lack the will to get more blood on your hands.
Tell me something, Solus. Do you think the servants here are happier than the people living under the Qun in Parvalan?
It doesn't matter if they are happy, it matters that they may choose.
Choose? Choose what? Whether to do their work or get tossed onto the street to starve?
Yes! If a Ferelden servant decides that his life's goal is to become a poet, he can follow that dream. It may be difficult, and he might fail, but the whole of society is not aligned to oppose him.
Sure, and good for him. How many servants actually go do that, though?
Almost none. What does that matter? Your Qun would crush the brilliant few for the mediocre many.
And then people feel like crap for failing, when the truth is the deck was stacked against them anyway.
If your Qun is so wonderful, so fair and perfect, how does it create so many Talvashoth? There are enough of them to marry and have children, like the man we travel with.
And for everyone who turns out all right, like him and his parents, dozens go savage. Most Talvashoth are nothing more than savages. Killing's all they know. The Ben Hasrath are trying to lose fewer people to that sickness.
It isn't a sickness. You are losing them because they see a chance for freedom. And most of them are savage, as you say, because your culture taught them nothing else. They know nothing but the Qun, so even as they fight against it, they are guided by its principles.
Watch it, Elf. You haven't seen the Talvashoth like I have. Try watching a Talvashoth kill a Tamasran and her kids. Then we'll talk.
You fought the Talvashoth for a long time, Iron Bull, did you not?
Every day. I'd kill some of them, they'd kill some of my guys, and then I'd kill them some more.
No man can kill so many people without breaking inside. To survive, those you fight must become monsters.
The ones that kill innocent people, yeah. The rest, I don't know.
The mind does marvelous things to protect itself.
So, you gonna let me have it, Solus? Or do I get to wait and wonder?
What do you mean?
We've got the alliance with my people. Given how much you love the Qun, I figured...
Am I to scold you? Berate you for your decisions?
Hey, the Chargers died as heroes for the good of the mission.
I never said otherwise. The truth is, Iron Bull, you are Qunari. I cannot be disappointed in your decisions. As a mindless, soulless drone, you could never make any. You are not Talvashoth, Iron Bull. Not really.
Well, that's a fucking relief.
No more than our Inquisitor, whose parents left the Qun before he was born. You are no beast, snapping under the stress of the Qun's harsh discipline. You are a man who made a choice. Possibly the first of your life.
I've always liked fighting. What if I turn savage, like the other Talvashoth?
You have the Inquisition. You have the Inquisitor. And you have me.
Thanks, Solus.
How do you feel, Iron Bull? Do you need a distraction to focus your mind?
Well, this area's low on dancing girls. Sadly.
King's pawn to e4.
You're shitting me. We don't even have a board.
Too complicated for a savage Talvashoth?
A smug little asshole. Pawn to e5.
Pawn to f4. King's gambit.
Accepted. Pawn takes pawn. Give me a bit to get the pieces set in my head. Then we'll see what you've got.
So, where were we? Ah, yes. Mage to c4.
Little aggressive. Arashok to h4. Check.
Speaking of aggressive, I assume Arashok is your turn for the queen. King to f1.
Pawn to b5.
All right. You have my curiosity. Mage takes pawn.
You call your Tamasrans mages? Ben Hasrath to f6.
You call your knights Ben Hasrath. Incidentally, knight to f3.
Ben Hasrath makes more sense than horses. They're sneaky, and they can move through enemy lines. Arashok to h6.
Pawn to d3.
Ben Hasrath to h5. Ha! All right, take some time. think about your life choices.
All right, Bull. If you are prepared, knight to h4.
Arashok to g5. So, you giving up the Tamasran at b5, or the Ben Hasrath at h4?
Neither. Knight to f5.
Pawn to c6. Left your Tamasran hanging out.
And you your knight. Or Ben Hasrath, if you will. Pawn to g4.
Ben Hasrath to f6.
Tower to g1.
Ha! Pawn takes your Tamasran, or mage, whatever it is.
I get the idea.
Too much time playing with spirits, Fade Walker.
We shall see. If you have a moment, Bull, pawn to h4.
Arashok to g6.
Pawn to h5. Careful.
You're the one who lost his mage. Arashok to g5.
Queen to f3.
Oh, clever. Almost trapped my Arashok. Ben Hasrath to g8.
Mage takes pawn, threatens queen.
Arashok to f6.
Knight to c3. You've developed nothing but your queen.
Don't get cocky. You're still one Tamasran down. Tamasran to c5, by the way.
I will need to consider. After careful consideration, knight to d5.
Arashok takes pawn at b2.
Mage to d6.
Arashok takes tower. Check. What are you doing, Solus?
King to e2.
All right. Tamasran takes tower. Your last tower, by the way.
Pawn to e5.
Really? I've got my whole army bearing down on your king, and you're moving a pawn? Are you even trying anymore?
Think about it, my friend.
All right, Solus. I've thought about it. Ready to finish this? Ben Hasrath to a6.
Knight takes pawn at g7. Check.
King to d8.
Queen to f6. Check.
And now my Ben Hasrath takes your queen. You've got no towers. You're down to a single mage. Too bad you wasted time moving that pawn to... You sneaky son of a bitch.
Mage to e7. Checkmate.
Ugh. Nice game, mage.
And you as well, Talvashoth.
King me.
You're not as flashy as most mages, Solus. The Tevinter mages I fought in Saharan tried to scare us with what they could do. Dorian has this shit-eating grin after every spell, like he's waiting for applause.
As any good mage would.
Vivian has this little swagger, like she knows she's the most dangerous thing in the room.
I am the most dangerous thing in the room, darling.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Not the quiet elven mage, though. No frills, nothing to give you away. Half our targets never even see you coming.
I shall take that as a compliment.
If you like. So, Solus, you go into the Fade on purpose when you dream? Just to hang out?
Yes. The Fade holds a trove of memories to explore. Spirits know secrets lost to this world.
Yeah, but they're spirits. You can't treat them like people.
Would many not say the same of Kunari?
No. Because Kunari don't go around trying to possess people and turn them into abominations.
Instead, you conquer them and turn them into servants of the Qun.
Oh, come on! You've got an odd style, Solus. Your spells are a bit different from the Circle Mages, or the Vince.
That comes from being self-taught. I discovered most magic on my own, or learned it from my journeys in the Fade.
I've seen self-taught warriors. Even the good ones have something awkward in their style. Something that clunks. I don't get that from you. Maybe magic is different.
Or, without magical training, you cannot notice the parts of my magic that clunk.
Nice job in that last fight, Solus. You really kicked the crap out of that guy.
I suppose.
What? You don't think so? You ripped him a new one. It was great.
Unless the fight is personal. Violence is a means to an end. It isn't appropriate to celebrate.
I don't know. Gotta wonder about anyone who fights as much as we do and doesn't have some fun with it.
We have fought living men, with loves and families. And all that they might have been is gone.
Yeah, but they were assholes. Something wrong.
A man in the last village. Something in his manner troubles me.
The baker with the squint and the red nose? Yeah, spy. Probably Venatori.
Why do you say that?
He watched all of us. A normal guy would focus on you because staff, or me because horns. He had a dagger up his sleeve, which no baker needs, and the knot on his apron was tied to Vinta style. I sent a message to Red. She'll investigate.
You are more observant than you appear.
The good spies usually are. Hey, Solus, you ever do your fade thing and pretend you can fly? Just flap your arms and zip around in there. Maybe bang some hot fade ladies.
No, such behavior attracts the attention of demons.
Ah! Demons shit up everything.
Iron Bull, how do your people put on shirts?
We don't, usually. It's pretty hot where we come from. But I can get into anything with a loose collar. Just gotta ease one horn through and then angle it up. There's a term for getting caught unprepared that translates to running around with clothing stuck on your horns.
Colorful.
You know, Viv, you're not bad with that stuff.
You will address me as Enchanter Vivienne, court mage to the Empire of Orlais, or Madame de Fer, not Viv.
Oh, right, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am works as well. Iron Bull, did you clean your weapon after the last fight?
No. Odds are we're going to be killing something again in a few minutes. Besides, the bloodstains are good for scaring enemies. They see a big, messy blade, and they... You know... I'll go clean it.
Thank you, darling.
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder what sort of eye patch we should get you. You cannot go shirtless in front of the preeminent nobles of Orlais. Let us see.
Hey, I had a shirt in Halamsharal.
In Halamsharal, you are a blade of cheap iron. When I am done, you will shine like a gleaming dawnstone saber.
Wait, no. No way you're putting me in some puffy-sleeved crap.
Of course not, darling. Puffed sleeves would waste those magnificent shoulders. A purple coat, tight at the waist, slashed with silver, emerald accents, open at the collar to accentuate your chest. Every woman will want you. Every man will want to be you.
Well, all right. Tell me more about the coat.
Now, Bull, the steps of the Dance of Six Candles?
Wait a minute. I know what this is. You're screwing with me because you look like a Tamasran. It's the whole authoritative female thing, plus that hat with the horns. You've been playing me. Well, I was trained by the Ben Hasrath. You think I don't know how to handle manipulation?
Bull, step, step, turn.
Step, shuffle, spin, ma'am. Are you sure you're not, maybe, just a little bit Tamasran, ma'am?
My dear, I don't believe there is such a thing as a little bit Tamasran.
All right, point taken. But you're pretty tall for a human. Maybe there was a Kunari in there a few generations back.
Bull, darling, I wear high heels and tall hats. Fashion is not, so far as I know, a demand of the Qun.
You've got a point there. Usually the Qun doesn't even demand pants. So, ma'am, you all right with the Inquisition bringing in Templars?
Of course. Magic works best when responsibly supervised for the safety and protection of all.
So, ma'am, you must be pleased the Inquisition brought in all those rebel mages.
Hardly. Magic is dangerous, and with the Inquisition's alliance, the mages are now dangerously independent.
Your views on magic don't quite mesh with what I was taught about mages outside the Qun.
Life is a series of necessary restrictions, Iron Bull. The small-minded beat against every wall they find. The wise learn to make the most of the options they have. I have heard of the life of the Cerebas, Iron Bull, but I'm curious about your viewpoint.
It's sad, mostly. The magic appears late in childhood, just like it does for you folks. Some kids gone years learning to be a baker, or soldier, or builder, and then one day, that's all gone.
You sound as though you pity them.
Well, yes. In theory, they're no different from anyone else. The Tamasrans and the Ben Hasrath protect everyone from their own mistakes. They're people too, just serving the Qun. But too many Qunari are afraid of them.
Not you, though.
No. Anyone who takes that burden and lives a good life with it has my respect. So, ma'am, what do you think of Skyhold?
Why'd you ask?
Well, I don't know crap about magic, so if the veil is thin or it's weak against demons somehow, I can't tell.
It needs gold caps on the towers, bunting in the courtyard, and a great deal of soap.
Ah, got it. All right, ma'am, I get that Skyhold needs a fresh coat of paint.
At the bare minimum. Ideally, we could have the battlements enamelled or sheathed in marble.
But it looks good, right? With that silhouette, it's just daring somebody to try to attack it.
This is the limitation of your upbringing under the Qun, darling. Skyhold must not merely unnerve potential foes, it must entice potential allies.
Well, that's why we have you and Josephine, and apparently marble sheaths. So, ma'am, with respect, all that crap at Halamsharal made sense to you?
Of course. Florian's motives were unfortunate, but hardly inscrutable.
But how does Orlais work with all the nobles screwing each other over like that? I mean, give Corypheus credit. If we hadn't stopped him, he'd have brought down the whole empire.
Then it is fortunate that we did stop him.
You really think Orlais works the way it is, ma'am? With all that infighting, all those selfish blowhards?
Orlais is selfish, but that ambition you decry breeds its own strength. Those who rule Orlais never fear treachery from the rest of the world. They have already faced far worse.
Well, that's one way to train your leaders. So, ma'am, the Warden mages at Adamant, they don't have to be part of the Circle?
Some mages who chafe at the Circle's constraints actually hope to be recruited.
Not you, though?
Darling, my interests lie in the Circle and the Court. The Wardens are irrelevant to both.
Well, after seeing what they did with blood magic, a nice strong circle looks pretty good. So, ma'am, you've been in the Fade, right?
Not physically, as you were at Adamant.
Oh. Well, you're lucky then. It was awful.
I can imagine.
Can you? Because it was more demons than I can imagine, and I'm quite good at imagining demons. So, ma'am, you went into the Fade at Adamant, right?
A most unpleasant experience.
I know, right? Glad it isn't just me.
The water was utterly dreadful, and the lighting was dreary.
Also demons trying to eat our souls. Really not sad I missed that one. We have more than enough demons outside. So was it like that when you went through your harrowing to become a Circle mage?
No, my harrowing was nothing like that.
At least I don't have to worry about crap from the Fade trying to kill us anymore.
Why not?
We kicked the Nightmare's ass. You gotta figure any demon is gonna think twice before coming after us now.
Actually, the depth of emotion you experienced might draw demons to you more strongly.
Oh, for shit's sake.
I understand that under the Qun, mages are tightly controlled to protect others from their power.
You don't need to worry. I have no intention of trying to leash anyone.
I never worry, darling. A leash can be pulled from either end.
I thought mages in Orlais didn't fight. You're more than capable with combat magic.
Mages in Orlais do not fight without permission, my dear. Some are better at gaining permission than others.
So, ma'am, with the magic, do you prefer fire, or lightning, or cold, or what?
The proper tool for the proper task. Fire reminds an enemy that you can destroy everything around. Lightning puts the fear of the Maker into her. Cold makes her think you implacable, while spirit energy conjures fears of demons.
I like cold, because it freezes them, and then they break into little bits when I chop them in half.
That's fine too, dear.
So mages in the Circle really have to defend themselves against a demon?
As part of our harrowing, we must prove we can defend against possession and are thus no danger to the world.
Demons. That's messed up.
Don't worry, my dear. Should we encounter demons, I will protect you.
So what's it like shacking up in the Circle?
Excuse me?
Well, I assume people do it, and you're people, so you have to have... I mean, come on, with those... Just forget I asked.
I shall. Iron Bull, stop picking at that scab, or it won't heal properly.
I know, but the scar will look amazing. You see, it already sort of looks like a wyvern's... I'll just put the bandage back on now. Sorry, ma'am.
Thank you, darling. My dear Iron Bull, stand up straight. You're slouching like a sulking child.
I keep smacking my horns going through doors.
Darling, you are in no danger from a door beam. Just watch where you're going.
I may have done it a couple times on purpose, to see if I could knock the frame loose.
I confess, Iron Bull, I had assumed you would not be comfortable fighting alongside a mage.
We use Cerebos when we need to.
That is hardly the same.
No, ma'am. Fighting with you is more like hitting an enemy while a dreadnought pounds their front line. All fire and smoke ahead of you, half the enemy already on the ground by the time you get there.
So I am a Canary dreadnought?
I, didn't mean to offend you.
Not at all. I am Madame de Fer. Tell me, Iron Bull, is there anything I can do to assist you more effectively in combat?
No, I'm good.
You do so much fighting at the front. I would help however I may. If my skills can weaken your opponents to make your fight easier, please let me know.
Well, nobody fights well when their clothes are on fire, but honestly, I do really like the ice. Whatever works for you, though, ma'am.
I'm always happy to help.
I assume that between living in the Circle and wherever you live in Orlais, you don't get out much, ma'am.
It is somewhat uncommon, yes.
Enjoying the great outdoors?
The next time we make camp, I intend to construct a bath. I will need you to find me fresh water.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, what does the Circle know about fade rifts and such?
Very little. No mage of the Circle had encountered anything like this before the breach.
Well, that's reassuring.
I think gold, inlaid with glowing lyrium and amethysts.
Oh, hadn't thought of it like that, ma'am.
You're not going to start that Kyun rubbish where you're trying to convert me, are you?
No.
What's so funny about that?
You aren't really Vidithari material.
What's that mean? I could be a Vivi, one of those things. Bloody good one, too. All right, why wouldn't I be a good Vidi whatever?
Because you ask questions like that.
If it's so hard, maybe it's your stuff that's stupid.
Hard to argue. Sometimes. You really believe all this Andraste stuff, Sarah?
Well, sure, right?
Then you support the Templars and their treatment of the Circles, or that?
That's not Andraste. That's Chantry.
Then you don't support the Chantry?
Of course I do.
All right. So, you support the Chantry except for the things that it does, and this makes sense to you?
Is it supposed to? It's belief, innit? You're weird, Bull. You have all this Kyun stuff, but you think Andraste is confusing.
I think you're confusing. How can you just pick and choose what parts you believe in?
There's real and there's really real.
Or, as normal people would say, real and not real.
I know what I said. I do.
Quit with the stink eye. What's wrong, Sarah?
I don't get how your Kyun thing makes everyone believe exactly the same stuff.
But it's the same with your Chantry. Point is, a group needs rules so you know who's in and who's out.
Only if the whole point is keeping people out.
Yes. And?
That's not what Andraste's for. Shouldn't be.
Sarah, I had a thought. The next time we run into a line of enemies, I'll pick you up and throw you.
Get off.
No, this could work. I loft you over the front ranks. You land behind them to flank. Mayhem ensues.
I can't fly, you daft tit.
Think of the mayhem, Sarah. Mayhem.
I'd get a wedge up something fierce.
Look, you and Varric are the only ones small enough, and he's pretty dense.
Ouch.
We'll do some bloody presses.
Hey, Sarah, a few fights back, did you hit someone through my horns?
Probably. Great if I did, huh? What, you afraid I'll stick your head by mistake?
What? No, I trust you. I'm just thinking, if you can pull off tricks like that, maybe we can use this. I lock somebody's arms, get my head down, and you go through the horns for his throat.
Ew, you're taking all the fun out of it. Bull, you like overthinking, right? I've got an idea.
All right, hit me.
You're not throwing piss, but I could ride on your shoulders. You run and hit, I shoot.
You standing or sitting?
Sit on your own horns. I stand.
Right, sorry. So we'd be like a mobile siege platform. Yes, this could work.
Or, wait, no, better idea. Ice cream and beer.
Sure, that's not at all the same thing, but all right.
It's probably shit. It'll be great.
I think I figured out how you fight, Sarah.
Good for you.
You don't actually like thinking about hurting people, do you? Chopping them down, making the blood spray.
It's not the hurting. It's parts.
Right. So if we hack them up, you have to do it without thinking about it.
So?
I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
I don't need to think about what I do. I do what I do. Wait, Bull, all that rot you said about hacking people,
Yeah?
you do like it.
Oh, yes. Finding someone who needs killing and just taking them apart. Brutally, skillfully, so their last living thought is realizing that I'm stronger and smarter than they are. Yeah, I like that a lot.
That's weird.
I didn't say it was healthy. Look, I can either press those feelings down until I snap and hurt someone I care about, or we can go find some bad guys who need to die.
Right. Bring on the baddies. All right, next time we fight someone, I'm going to pin their foot to the ground. Then you run at them and shout, "Flower pot," as you go.
What? Why?
Because it's funny.
Is this because I like cutting people? You're trying to make it less tactical and more funny?
Just shut up and do it.
Ugh. I'm not sure I get the joke, but all right. Flower pot. You've got it. And thanks.
So you're free now or something? Must be nice to get rid of those Ben holes.
You mean getting exiled from my people and declared Talvashoth? Yeah, I should make a cake.
You like drinking and singing and breaking beds. You'd already left.
The Qun keeps our savage natures in check. Without it, if I lose control...
Heard that before. Don't worry. You get growly, I'll kick your ass.
Thank you.
So you happy now, back with the Qun or whatever?
I never left it, Sarah.
Bullshit. Because you're bull and getting people killed was shit.
I didn't kill the Chargers, Sarah. The Vince did. They died for the mission. Sometimes that has to happen.
The greater good, right? The greater good can knob it. You're bedding the Inquisitor.
Sometimes. Usually it's just against the wall.
Bull, no.
She sort of asked.
What's so funny? Oh, because you do it standing.
Moving on.
I usually describe a fireplace by this point.
So, Bull, you two are flirty, right?
It's just friendly. I won't step in your business.
Friggin' right you won't.
Relax. I don't want you lodged somewhere. So, you and the boss, huh?
Oh, that's right. You and she had. Sorry, right?
Hey, no hard feelings. Glad I loosened the lid for you.
That's enough, both of you.
Fine, fine. Touchy.
If you're going to gossip, don't do it while I'm here.
Oh, loosen up, you. See what I did? I did it too. Loosen the lid. I think she's turning purple.
Not the first time.
Ugh. Why does she carry a jar down there? Is there something in her hands?
I am decidedly uncomfortable. Quite.
So, you and the boss, huh?
I know, right?
Didn't figure you were the kind to bed your way to power.
Power bed its way to me. Big, beautiful difference.
You tell him. Love you too.
See?
I stand corrected.
Not sure I understand, but all right.
It's because I didn't want to move up. I wanted you to go down. What? Oh, because down. Brilliant. That's right. Everyone goes quiet. You friggin' take that back.
Take what back? I didn't mean anything by it.
That's right, you didn't. This matters. You don't talk piss about what matters.
Ah, so it matters then. Good to know.
Seems like that business at Adamant really worked you up, huh?
And Halam Sharal pissed you off something fierce.
We're like a guild. The Hate This Rubbish Guild.
We should get shirts. Probably need different sizes. Mythol was some crazy shit, huh?
Not talking about it.
Really? That's what's off limits?
No, it's just simple. Demons and rubbish. Simple. So, Bull, What are your women like?
The Tomastrans. Terrifying and inspiring. They teach you everything you need to know. Give your life purpose.
No, I mean, are they like you? Big and whoa.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Wow. Dwarves are short.
Everyone's short to me.
Yeah, but dwarves, right? You need two to look one in the eye.
Well, they'd both have a good view. Hey, Sarah, you see the blonde a few towns back? She was easy on the eyes.
The one with the huge ditties.
No. Well, yes, but what about the fancy bow on her apron, dangling all long and sassy, so someone could ease it open with one slow pull? You have to see the little details to get the whole person, Sarah. There's a woman behind those tits.
Yeah, way behind.
That redhead in the last town, remember her?
Too elfy.
Your loss.
How do you and elves even work?
Hey, was that you back at Skyhold, with the custard?
Did you see it? All down the stairs?
It was beautiful. You're really good with that bow, Sarah. You lay down solid cover fire.
2 eyes. Helps, yeah?
So, Sarah, a few fights ago, there was this one guy. I had his leg wounded, his shield down.
Oh, him, yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, see, I had him. I was winding up for the killing blow and everything. You didn't need to take him.
I wanted to see if I could get him without hitting you.
What I'm saying is, please stop stealing my kills, Sarah.
That's not a thing. Get faster.
All right, you're not stealing, you're helping. Kill helping, that's fine.
Ew, parts are gross.
Really? You kill how many people and one little decapitation bugs you?
Killing, whatever, but when a bit comes off, it's not them anymore. You don't see that. It's like suddenly meat.
No. No, I've never seen that. Sarah, how did you get an entire beehive into Colin's training dummy?
I don't know, can't remember.
Wait, do you think it was that magic Cole does? Like he helped you and then made you forget?
What? No? Piss, now it's in my head. Why'd you say that? You ruined a good beehive. Arse. What? Things can go sideways if you think too hard.
But it's a beehive, full of bees. Most people would pay attention.
That's why most people get stung.
Or they don't do it.
That almost makes sense. Of a sort.
Something's funny about you.
Oh?
Yeah, you talk about Grey Wardens and honor and sacrifice and griffins, but you're still not convinced.
Not convinced?
Yes, you know what I mean.
And you know this because?
I'm a people person. Sounds like joining the Grey Wardens is like following the Qun.
How, do you think?
Service. Hard work for a good cause, always knowing where you fit in, what you have to do.
I suppose I see the similarity when you put it like that.
Little surprised I got there before you did, big guy. So how does being a Grey Warden work? I assume it's more complicated than just signing up.
Yes.
And how is it that you're the only ones who can end the blights?
Is there a reason for the interrogation?
Curiosity. The Ben Hasrath could know more about the Wardens. Also, those ogre guys, the darkspawn that look like messed up Kunari. The Ben Hasrath aren't pleased.
Few are.
Now, isn't this better? Getting the burden of that lie off your chest.
And exchanging it for the burden of everyone hating me? Yes, so much better.
Hey, I don't hate you. You and me, we're good. Now that you know who you are, you can stop doubting yourself and start hitting crap again.
Why don't we hit a few bottles first, huh?
I used to think it was just me who thought you humans all look alike.
And now?
Clearly, you guys can't tell each other apart either. How the crap did you live as some other guy for all those years?
I grew a beard.
Really? Put some hair on your face and no one can tell who you are anymore. That's some disguise, big guy.
And I didn't talk to anyone for months at a time.
All right. That probably helped.
So, Bull, how does it feel to be Talvashoth?
Feels a bit like I've been living a lie, and now it's coming back to bite me in the ass. What's that like, Blackwall?
Calm down, I meant no offense. As you say, I know something of being cut off from a past life, having to find a new way.
Well, you could have just led with that. Stings a bit. Thanks for asking.
It's a difficult thing you've done, turning your back on one life to live another. You could look at it as opening a way forward, not closing the way back.
Thanks. I appreciate the advice.
In any event, you have the charges. You haven't lost everything.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
You sacrificed your own men.
I'm Kunari. We don't flinch from duty.
Your men trusted you. You betrayed that trust when you left them to die.
No.
No?
Two key differences between you and me, Rainier. First, I didn't kill a wagon full of kids. My men were holding a position to secure an objective. I mourn their loss and honor their sacrifice. And second, I'm proud of who I am. I hope that's not a problem for you.
Not unless you ask me to hold a hill, Kunari. You sacrificed your own men.
Yes, I did. And you don't approve. That's odd.
How so?
I don't know much about wardens, but I do know they're big on sacrifice. My men died with honor, laying down their lives for a greater cause. I figured a warden would get that.
You are correct, Kunari. You don't know much about wardens. So, if I were to convert to the Kyun, what place would I have in your society?
Ben Hasrath, perhaps, if you prove yourself.
And if I don't?
Oh, laborer, probably.
Laborer?
Strong back, legs, and laborers are important. You can't have the Tamasrans doing the heavy lifting.
Right. I'll pass.
Really? You don't want to see our pamphlet, digging holes and filling them up again? You could have been one of the Chargers, Blackwall. You've got the stature, the attitude.
And you'd be my boss.
Hey, I'm a great boss. I'm a firm believer in No Pants Fridays.
And a mercenary. I'm done with that part of my life.
Why? Because you're better now. Because there's something wrong with working for gold. The thing about my guys, they're honest with themselves. You could have learned that lesson.
I'd rather fight for a cause.
Hey, No Pants Fridays is a cause. Hey, Furrows.
What? Me?
Yes, furrows between the eyes, moping, lost in your own issues.
Can't a man think without being judged for it?
I'm not judging. I was gonna say you're pretty good at it. I can't pull that off.
A tragedy, for sure.
And I mean, if you're going to brood, you might as well reap the benefits.
What benefits?
The ladies.
Don't the horns make it hard to lie down? How do you sleep?
Soundly, while propped up on a bed of oiled, writhing virgins. You're good with that sword.
Thanks.
I see all that time on your own has given you a firm grip. Blackwall. Iron Bull. We could fight crime.
Isn't that exactly what we're doing, right this minute, more or less?
Oh, yeah. You know one thing I miss about Parvallen? The bananas. They're bigger, less squishy, and bendier.
You're talking about the fruit, right? Please tell me you're talking about the fruit. I'm surprised you don't wear heavier armor on your blind side.
If I did that, I'd just be telling people where to hit me. As it is, every half-decent fighter sees the eye and thinks he can feint, then come in with a low stab. Then I'd chop his head off. It's like a gimme.
That can't work every time.
It doesn't, but taking a blade to the ribs is a pretty good teacher.
Have you considered incorporating headbutts into your fighting style?
Oh, yes. Tried it a few times. No luck.
Too easy for enemies to defend against?
A little. I'm big enough that I've got to lean down to make it work on most people. You see it coming. I did it once with a charge, though. Got a vent on each horn.
Nicely done.
Yes. Except for the part where they were both hanging from my head yelling for the rest of the fight.
Ah, point taken, so to speak.
Hey, Blackwall, what would your ideal blade be forged from?
Well, many famous Warden blades were made from silverite. It seems to work well on Darkspawn. And you? Clearly a man who enjoys a good blade. Bloodstone, perhaps?
Nah, Bloodstone's great at holding an edge, but that sharpness leaves it brittle. You may not have noticed, but I'm not a finesse fighter. I guess I'd go with Dawnstone.
Dawnstone? That's even more brittle than Bloodstone.
Yes. Really damn pretty, though.
It's pink.
It's pretty. Hey, Blackwall, what's the most limbs you've ever cut off something in one swing?
For the Wardens, battle is a sacred duty. A vigil kept to guard the world against destruction. It's not a game.
Right, same here.
Do heads count?
Heads absolutely count.
Then 3.
Nice. Down on the collarbone and through, right? That's how I get the good ones.
I confess, Solus, I am surprised you decided to remain.
Why? The breach remains a threat to us all.
Just the same. I wondered if you might leave now that we have a plan to seal it.
Ah, because I am an apostate. I might flee before the Inquisition throws me in chains. I take my commitment seriously, Seeker. Come what may, I shall see this through.
As you wish. Though I cannot guarantee what will happen in the days to come.
Seeker, you initially believed our Herald of Andraste was involved in the attack on the Conclave, yes?
I did. The evidence seemed damning, given the lack of an alternative.
Yet you